First of all, thank you for your submission. You sound great, man. A couple of things I wanted to mention. I'm looking at your submission right now. The first thing I want to mention is your form, your technique. So there's a clip that it's paused on right now, and your hand is like this. It's literally, yeah, it's literally like that. So you want to watch that, because over time, your hand can get cramped and that can cause some injuries. So you want to make sure you keep your hand open. And I notice your elbow is very close and tucked into your side. And if you bring that elbow out, that'll help you straighten out your wrist just a little bit more. So just be conscious about your hand position or your fretting hand position when you're playing, because some of the notes seem like it's strained to you, you know. You know, it shouldn't seem like a strain. You know, you have decent sized hands. Well, hand size really doesn't matter if your form is correct. So in order to not seem like it's a strain to get to those notes, just open up that hand. Okay, so you see the difference between that. So say if I'm going from an E to an A on the 5th fret on the E string, so it's not like, if my hand is closed, that's what it would look like. But if my hand is open, very subtle movement. Okay, so that's first thing. The key is, the song is the key of A. Actually, what song is this, by the way? Once you reply, let me know the name of the song. I really like that progression, going from the A to the G to the D. So your solo is great. Your bass line is great. I would call it more so like a bass line. So you're just playing through the chord changes. It's playing like a 1, 3, 4. From what I can see, let me play it again just to make sure I'm right. Da, 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 da. Oh, you have the chord changes right, but at one point in time, you change to the A. So boom, 2, 3, 4 to the D. No, to the G. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the D, and it stays there to the D. I think you went back to the A. So you just have to be conscious about the chord changes in the song, because it stays right there. So you don't want to change your bass note, because that'll change the whole progression of the song. And we'll do some more ear training to be able to actually pinpoint out what the bass note is, or what the bass note is to the chord that's being played at the time, to be able to separate the two so you can find a distinctive note that's going on. Okay, so that's the other thing. Your solo is great. You're playing the chord changes. You're playing simple. It's more so a bass line. You're keeping it simple. When you're soloing, you most times want to go outside of that, outside of the rhythm that you're doing. I know you're keeping a consistent rhythm. And that's great. Keeping that consistent rhythm is great. But sometimes when you're soloing, you want to go outside of that just a little bit. So experiment with just using some different notes. And I know you use the the higher octave when you did that. But I think you did pretty much the same bass line that you did, but you went up here, which is great. That's a great variation. So just experiment with some more notes. Say, for instance, the first note is your Ionian scale. The key is in A major. So take control of that, take advantage of that. So you can use any note in that major scale, and just experiment with some other notes, and give me another bass line or a solo when you're branching out a little bit more, changing the rhythm up instead of switch it up and make a chromatic bass line to do the 1, 3, and the 5. So I'm doing one for the D for that last chord. I'm doing the first, that root note, the 3rd note, 4th note, sharp 4, and then 5. I know that sharp 4 isn't in that particular chord progression or that chord tone, but that's fine, because you're leading up to the 5 of that chord. That's fine. Just switch it up just a little bit, add some different notes inside of it for the next go round, or maybe one time switch it up and do something different and then come back to what you were originally doing. So I hope that's enough. Watch the hand, the position, watch the chord changes, listen to that more. You sound great, by the way. Thank you for your submission, and look forward to hearing back from you.